Welcome to Modern Musings, conversations with the maiden, mother, and crone, looking at ourselves and the world through the lens of the 21st century. Hey everybody, and we're back. I'm Amber Garvin, and I'm here with my hostesses, Cindy Murray and Kristen Hessler.
Howdy.
Hey.
So this week we are kind of talking about divination again. We're talking about palmistry, which is a form of divination. And I just kind of wanted to go over the basics of palmistry and kind of like maybe a blurb on the history of palmistry. And then we're going to talk about it. So if you didn't know, they don't really know the origin of palmistry. They think it's probably going to be from ancient India, but palmistry kind of shows up in pretty much every culture around the world.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it's a form of divination. And one thing I like about palmistry is that, you know, you don't have to be psychic to read palms. You know, pretty much anybody can do it.
Yeah.
You don't have to, it's not really a way of telling the future. It's kind of like a way to look at your life.
Okay.
So, ladies, you want me to jump in, or do y'all have
go.
anything?
I know nothing about palmistry.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
No, right. I really, obviously it's been around forever, and I remember reading stuff about it in the 70s, and I couldn't even tell you which one is my Lifeline and my Love Line because I can't ever keep it straight. And so
Yeah.
Give us a start. Yeah, I'd like to know.
Well, I mean, like when people read palms, they look at every part of your hand. So the very top line, if you look at your hand, and you won't really first want to look at your dominant hand because that's
I was about to ask.
That was one of my questions too. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to look at your dominant hand because that is kind of what's happening now.
Okay.
In your life.
Okay. What if you don't have a dominant
you
hand?
do have a dominant hand. Your right hand dominates over your left hand. Yeah, because you write better with your right hand.
But only because I was taught, I was one of those forced.
You made it your dominant hand,
right.
So it is your dominant hand.
Okay.
Even if you're ambidextrous, you still have one hand.
Yeah, you still have one hand that you write with.
You can see out of both of your eyes, but one of them is
I
usually
do
your
sports
dominant
left-handed, though.
Yeah,
I do sports left-handed, and which makes it dominant.
Yeah, well,
and my left eye is dominant, so
yeah, that's really curious. I'm not really sure.
Okay,
maybe you could look at both, but your right hand is like what's happening now in your life,
okay,
and your left hand, your non-dominant hand, is your destiny.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's why, because you fiddle with your destiny all the time by.
Oh, that's an interesting way to put it. Like I'm not ambidextrous at all. I write with my right hand, and I see better out of my right eye. And
you're right. You're right side dominant.
Yeah, I'm side dominant, but I do things like you said with my left hand.
I really am left side dominant, except for eating and writing. So I mean, I learned to use a fork with my right hand, but I use a knife with my left hand, which is very unlike most people. Most people swap their knife in their fork into the same hand.
I knife with the left hand too.
I think I knife with the left hand also.
That's actually a European thing, though.
Well,
it is.
But we are of European descent.
But most Americans do swap the knife into their right hand to cut. They swap their knife and fork into the right and left hand, and then
otherwise your pork chop will go sliding off your plate.
Right. But so like I said, I mean, I eat with my right hand, and I write with my right hand, and I use scissors with my right hand because scissors are made for right-handed people.
Yeah. But my mom was a lefty, and
my bowling ball is a left-handed bowling ball. When I play softball, I bat left-handed. I I am left eye dominant, which is very tricky when you're doing camera work, because
because they don't really
cameras are designed to look through with your right eye.
Think about that.
Yeah,
spirals are designed.
I know I got us way off track there.
I know.
But it's when you talk about things like that,
it's interesting.
It is an interesting swing.
So
which
one is your destiny and which one is your now?
I don't know.
I guess it would just be whichever one makes
more
sense.
We'll just have to look.
And that might make more sense because I always just look at the pictures online and I'm like, my hand does not match.
And I'm like, that
anything
doesn't look
remotely
like
close to that.
Mine
if you look at your hands like mine, each line is different in each hand.
Very different. Yes.
Like they don't look the same at all, and that's down to like the lines on my wrist don't look
and I was
the same.
telling Kristen at lunch today, because we knew we were going to do this podcast today, I was looking at my hands and I said, mine are just all wrinkly because I'm the crone. So they are. I mean, I see I've got lots of extra lines in mine because I'm old. So
yeah.
Okay, so I'm looking at my hand.
You're looking at your hand.
Dominant
hand, and the very top line is your heart line.
Okay.
Is that the one that descends from between your index finger and your middle finger?
It's the one that's like right under the pinky finger and kind of goes up, to the index or middle finger.
I have a question. When you say heart line, do you mean health heart or love heart?
Well, Heartline really isn't like it really isn't about love per se, but it's your emotional state.
Oh,
okay.
Which love is
That's
part
what
of
I
your
meant by
emotion.
heart.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's emotional. Heartline is emotional because there actually is a health line as well. So the heart line, the top line is emotional, and then the next line that kind of goes through the center of your hand is your head line, which is mental.
Oh, okay. So in
Mine's
Eckhart Tolle's words, it would be your soul, and then your brain.
Oh, your soul.
Yeah. Okay.
Then your brain.
Or your ego.
Yeah.
And then the
That's
one
what I mean by brain.
that kind of
The machine.
The one that kind of curves around your thumb.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not like that for everybody. Mine kind of goes through the center of my hand, but the one that kind of like curves around your thumb, that is going to be your lifeline.
Okay.
So that's like health and vitality.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one that goes like slashes down kind of through the center of your hand is your fate line.
Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you this because I saw that the other day about the fate line, and then you have your lifeline. I know when I was a kid, they always said the length of your lifeline said how long you were going to live.
Well,
but wouldn't that be your fate line?
Yeah, like the fate line is kind of like how you feel about the life that you're living. So your fate.
Okay.
So, and really none of the lines have anything to do with how long you're going to live.
Okay. Oh, that's good. See, because like I said, when I was a kid, we always looked at it and went, oh, you're going to live a long time because you have a long lifeline. But I never knew which one was my lifeline, so.
So if you look at the lines on your wrist, and I don't really have any notes down about this, but I do remember this, like the lines, how many lines do you have on your wrist?
On my right hand, I have 2 going across.
Oh.
On my left hand, I have 3.
I have 2, one under my hand, and then I have one going across like about an inch below that, and just in the middle of the 2 of those, I have almost invisible line that's probably forming. So it's like 2.5.
So like there's some like debate about this. From what I remember, and those are called the bracelets. And from what I remember about that is like, so if this is like the now, which is weird because, I have 3 lines on my now and I'm in my 30s, and I had always heard that was like your age. But
Oh.
Well,
but that really wouldn't go for you, Cindy. Yeah, you only have 2 lines.
I have 2 on the right, and then I have 3 on the left.
So
and
maybe,
maybe if you add them together, you're getting closer to my age. But
oh, yeah. See, I have 3 on my left wrist.
yeah, see, I have 1, 2, 3, and they're about 1/4 of an inch apart. Yeah.
No, well, that's definitely something to look into more. Like, I remember.
That's interesting, yeah.
Yeah, I remember, like, hearing it that it was, like, either, like, how many years you've lived by decades or, like, how many decades you have left.
Mm. Well, that could be
That's scary.
Different either way.
Yeah, I know. Because
Yeah.
I remember doing a speech about palmistry in college, Kristen. I don't know if you remember that, but I made that big poster. And I did a speech for a speech class, and one kid came up to me, and he had half a line on his wrist, and he was pretty much crying. He was like, "Oh, we have half a line. Am I going to die?"
You should check and see if he's still around.
That's a good question. Oh, my goodness. Maybe he partied a little bit too. Oh, I'm not even going to think about that.
Don't think there.
No.
No,
Bad,
but you can
bad
go on
karma.
classmates.com and see if he's on there.
Yeah, that's But yeah, the fate line is like kind of like how you feel about or what you're going to create with your life.
Okay.
So, and then like the overall shape of your lines kind of comes into play also. So like most lines are curved or straight or kind of curve. And that is like how flexible that part of your life is. So, for example, if you have a curved heart line, you are very nurturing. More like if you have a straight heart line and mine's straight, you're very guarded with your heart and your emotions.
Mine's like almost an S on one side.
Oh, wow. Mine curves up a little bit.
Yeah, so if yours is curved, you're more nurturing.
Can you see it?
And
yeah. It does. It makes like almost an S.
So
that's on my left
you're the crone. You're a nurturer,
I am.
you know. And mine's straight. I'm the maiden, and I'm very guarded, and I don't really show my emotions to people. So, I mean, I'm very emotional, but
you haven't built those nuclear familial
bonds
yet. Because you don't have children, and I mean that would make sense because once you have children, you start to let your guards down, or once you have that significant person in your life or whatever, you start to build those bonds, and that's when you let your guards down.
Yeah. And so like it's kind of like the same with like the headline. If your headline is curved, you're more creative, and if your headline is straight, you're more logical. So
mine curves, but it's like barely.
So you're kind of like you're creative, but you're also logical. Mine's kind of like that also.
See how it just kind of very light. It's almost straight, but it does curve.
Yeah.
Well, like, do you feel more logical or do you feel more creative? I do feel more
logical. I do a lot of like spreadsheet kind of things and formulas. And even my crafting. I'm a crafter. I'm an artist. But I approach things a lot of times with a more logical.
Yeah, me too. So yeah, mine is straight, but then it curves at the end.
Oh yeah.
And like I said before, your lifeline, it has nothing to do with your lifespan. It's just kind of like a piece in your life. So if your lifeline is deep and dark, that means that you have a lot of stability right now in your life.
Okay.
And if it's shallow, that means that it's not so stable currently.
So what does it mean if it like the other ones were if they were curved? Mine is very angular, and it actually branches off of my headline. So it starts conjoined to my headline.
Yeah, mine's the same way.
It takes a very angular detour off of that, and then it takes another angular turn straight down into my palm, or straight down into my wrist.
Yeah, I want to say, like, looking at mine, like, mine is kind of very similar. It's probably the most curved line on my hand. So
Mine is not curved. It's like real straight and then an angle.
well, I want to say that like that means that you're kind of like on the right path, that you're doing okay, that you're doing good.
Okay.
And curved would be more like you're kind of
Getting there.
okay, but not so much. But if it's like deep, then like you're really on the right path, and if it's shallow, you're still getting there though.
So here's a question for you guys. This is where I always get a little like off of the chart with mine. So my heart line and my headline are obviously really clear and understandable.
Yes,
but
I see that.
My lifeline and my fate line actually interchange. They cross roads, and so it actually looks like my fate line comes down and then it turns into my heart line, and then I have this other line here that's not even on a chart. So I wonder if that is my
it's a little okay. Yeah,
Mine
that's
forks.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I've never seen a chart that forks like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's definitely worth like doing some more research on
It
that.
does it on it does it on both hands.
Yeah,
so.
I've never seen a chart like that either, so that's curious, like which line is which if you can't tell.
I have two M's.
It would help if you were on if you were a little bit better lit over there. We're actually working in my studio today. We've talked about this before too, just to sidetrack us.
Yeah.
About how we have changed from some different locations, and we've been recording at my house lately. But I actually am doing some more decorating in my living room, and took all my curtains down, so the room is really hard and there's like a huge echo in there. So we moved into my crafting studio, and so I don't have the overhead light on. We're just kind of very lightly lit. And turn it this way. Oh, okay. So the one closest to your thumb would be your lifeline.
Yeah.
And the other one would be
my fate
line.
line. Yeah,
but your fate line doesn't go above your headline? Anywhere?
No, it stops.
Oh, wow.
Both of my lines stop at my headline.
Okay.
It doesn't go above.
Okay,
mine
so
starts from
and
way
so
up
it's
here.
like my lifeline starts at my wrist as one single line, and then maybe like a quarter inch up, it splits and it turns into my fate line.
Well, I'm going to talk about that, like length of lines.
Okay.
Also, so like if the length of line is very important. So like if you have a short headline, you have trouble focusing, or if
like mine only goes halfway across my hand.
Like if like the length, like pretty much, that's what that means. Like if it's short, you have trouble focusing, or like if it's short on the heart line, you have like kind of like a short fuse, or like kind of like maybe, I'm not going to say emotional problems, but maybe like you get angry really easy.
Oh, I do that too. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of interesting. Yeah, like you drew on your hand and everything like that. So yeah, I was just about to talk about like the line length.
If you guys y'all don't know because you can't see, but since they couldn't see my hands, I just use a little bit of pen ink.
She did it, and then I did it too, so that you can see mine. See how my fate line goes all the way from there, all the way down.
Oh wow, yours does go all the way down.
It crisscrosses
mine doesn't even get that far.
And it
up.
actually,
I lost
That's
my
why
pen,
I always
so
thought I
can't.
was not going to live very long because my lifeline was so short.
No, that definitely does
Thanks for
not.
clarifying
that does not mean that you're.
That is actually very good to know. Yeah.
Yeah, that does not mean that you're gonna die. Like you're not gonna live very long. That because your lifeline is short, that doesn't mean that at all.
I'm writing on my hand again.
Cheers.
You know what? I was gonna write on mine, but I think Kristen stole my pen.
No, I did not.
Oh, then I misplaced my pen somewhere.
Do you want me to throw one at
no,
you?
Never mind. I got it.
Okay.
There we
I got
go.
it. Let me.
Now you can see my hand.
Yeah. Oh wow, yours forks at the top again by your finger.
Yes.
Okay, I messed up.
It's kind of like it makes me think of a witch's broom. I actually drew the other line in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like a 3-fork thing, and then it comes down.
Also, ladies, did you know that the shape of your hand kind of plays part in your life also?
I've heard of like the length of your fingers, but
Yes, I've heard of that, and like how whether your thumb curves out.
Oh, if it makes like a 90-degree angle, or
yes,
if
and whether the thumb turns
and your
yes.
thumb bends backward. Yeah.
Yes, and
Yeah, like when palm readers read your hands, they look at the whole picture. And actually, like the shape of your hand also kind of represents what element you are.
oh,
Like, for example, I have kind of like a long palm and short fingers. That means that I'm a fire element, which is also, I'm a Sagittarius, so I'm a fire element.
I was about to say mine looks like a teardrop. I'm water.
Yeah.
how do you know if you're a long palm? I don't
Like
know. Is that a long palm?
well, like my palm is longer than my fingers.
Okay.
So
I think mine is too.
if you have like big hands, that means you're an earth element, kind of,
I
like
am
tilling
not.
the soil,
I have
big
small,
hands.
very small hands.
And if you have long, ovally type hands, like a teardrop, it's water. And then like me, long palm, short fingers is fire. And then kind of a square palm and long fingers, that's air.
I don't know. I mean, I'm
Kristen,
a
what do you think?
Sagittarius, so I'm a fire sign, but
I think your hand looks more like mine. Like you do look more
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think so
like
too.
a fire, yeah.
I have short fingers. I mean, look at my pinkies
Yeah.
here. They're really tiny.
So, like, if you're
Yeah.
a fire, that means that you're more restless and anxious. And if you are water, that means you're more sensitive. And, oh, wait. Yeah,
Yes.
and then if you're air, that means you're more adaptable. And if you're earth, you're more grounded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's kind of how palm or how hand shape plays into palm reading.
Okay.
So, like, I also kind of wanted to talk about, like, so when you're looking up palm reading and everything like that, of course, there's no scientific evidence to support that palm reading is a thing, like, but
I mean,
doctors.
you can say that about a lot of things.
Yeah, I
too.
know, but, like, you can tell a lot about, like, your health and everything like that. Not even just looking at the lines, but, like, your hand in general. So
Oh, yeah.
there is something to palm reading because when doctors look at your hands, they can kind of tell, like, if you're getting enough water
Yes.
or,
I mean, even
Traumas and
stress
cosmetologists
habits.
are trained to look at your hands and can tell that you have vitamin deficits or whatever by looking at your nails.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So, yeah, that's that's another thing that, you can tell when you are looking at your hand.
Mhm.
And so, like I said, your dominant hand is like what's happening in your present. And when a palm reader looks at your hand and they look at your non-dominant hand, that's like kind of it's your destiny. It's not really even your future. Well, I mean, your destiny is your future, but it's kind of like they call it the wisdom of what you're going to go through.
Okay.
So, like, if you have, and when I look at my non-dominant hand, like I have an even more
My
curved lifeline.
My fate
and,
line is a lot
and like
a lot more prominent.
Yeah, and I have a more prominent headline, and I have an even shorter heart line. So I don't know if I'm gonna go crazy in the future over my emotional state. I'm not really sure. And also, like, on my non-dominant hand, my lifeline is very deep. So I'm hoping that means that I become more and more healthy as I get older. Have more vitality.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think all three of us are working towards that, right?
Right.
Yeah. I
my
mean,
headline and my heart line are really deep on my left hand, my non-dominant hand. But again, my fate and my lifeline. This one is actually even more defined. They start in two separate places and become one.
I would like to look at yours like closer to see if you're not just missing something from your fate line.
Mm-mm.
Because it's like the middle of your hand there's no line there. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's odd.
Yeah, definitely. Kristen, you also said you had some other unique points on your hand that you... Or before we started, like you said you had like what was it called? The Venus?
The Ring of Solomon and the it's called the Girdle of Venus. I'm not sure. Girdle. Oh, sorry, I'm dyslexic, I think.
Yes.
The Girdle of Venus.
What are those?
I don't know. I wanted Amber to
Oh.
See if she had that in her
Do you have that in
knowledge
your notes
base
there?
over there.
Well, I was looking while you were looking at that. I was kind of looking at I mentioned the wrist bracelets before, and I just kind of wanted to go over that, and then I can go over that other stuff since I have that up right on my computer. So your top bracelet line reveals your health and wealth in youth. And not everybody has a complete lines across their wrist. I just found out.
Uh-huh.
So if the line is thick and straight, it indicates good health in your youth.
Okay.
If it's thin, that means you didn't have that great a health in your youth. And mine's like all curved and stuff. So
on my dominant hand, it really kind of only goes right about to the base of my thumb, and then it goes away. But well, I don't know if it's kind of curved. Yeah.
And so then the second bracelet reveals your health in your middle age.
Okay. It's kind of meh.
Yeah, mine is too. Like my health in my youth was way better than my middle age.
Now my other hand, it's really low.
The third bracelet on your dominant hand reveals your health and wealth in your old age.
Okay.
And mine is very thin.
I don't have one on that side. Well, unless we're going to say that my left hand is my dominant hand.
Then I guess I would go with the hand, because the dominant hand has 3 bracelets, and the non-dominant hand has 2 bracelets. So I would go with the one that has 3 bracelets.
Yeah.
Bracelets. That's your dominant hand.
It's very straight. The third line on my left hand is very straight.
So if you have a 4th bracelet, and not everybody has a 4th bracelet, if you're lucky to have a 4th bracelet, that means that you're going to live a long time. So now next time I go visit my 98-year-old grandma, I want to look at her wrist.
Yeah.
To see if she has a 4th bracelet, because I can't even fathom living to 98. I mean, I know I'm only 38, but I cannot even fathom living that much longer, honestly.
It's a long time.
And then if my bracelets are any indication, I don't think I am. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I actually heard on the radio, though, a few weeks ago, I don't know, I can't remember what I was listening to, but I was listening to radio, and there was somebody that said that if you wind up living to the year 2030, the chances are very high that you will live to be over 100 years old. So if you are alive in the year 2030,
which isn't that far away,
is not that far away. That's
because our life expectancy has gone up.
It keeps going up.
Yeah.
And so if you can make it 8 more years, you are probably going to live to be more than 100 years old. I thought that was amazing, because I know, it wasn't, even when I was a teen young adult, the life expectancy was in the 70s. Mm-hmm. So that's crazy.
Oh, I know. I remember even when I was a little kid, 60-year-olds were considered old.
Yeah. Well, 60's not that old now.
No,
it's not.
It's the new, 40.
I'm almost 60. So, it's like, I don't feel old. I don't feel old at all. Decrepit, yes.
Right.
But old, no.
So,
wise.
Okay, so Mount of Venus. And so, like, the Mount of Venus is found between the root of the thumb and your lifeline, and between your first bracelet. And since I've drawn on my hand, I can't tell if I have a Mount of Venus or not, but I don't think that I really have one.
What does it look like?
It's kind of rare having a Mount of Venus.
So what does it look like?
Kristen, you have a picture up on your...
Not
Can you
that. I
describe
have the Girdle of Venus pulled up, and that's different.
Oh.
Okay, you want me to look up the Girdle of Venus? I thought you said Mount of Venus. Mount of Venus
Well,
is
now I
very
want to know
rare.
what the Mount of Venus is.
It's like it's like right here on just like the meaty part under your thumb. There's like two prominent lines, and I have one line, but I don't have two.
Show me where it's at.
Like vertical
Like
lines?
right here, like
Oh,
two prominent
going that way.
lines,
I don't
like
have
right
anything
there.
I have
Yeah.
nothing there.
I have vertical lines there, but not horizontal ones.
Yeah,
Well, I have a lot of horizontal lines right here.
From
but
thi-
like I
from
said,
this
I think
picture
that's
that I'm
huge.
looking at, it's supposed to be horizontal lines, and they said that it's very rare.
Interesting.
I want to know about, somebody told me that if you had, and I've heard it both ways, there was something to do with horizontal lines
On the end of your pinky.
right below your pinky, right on the edge of your palm hand there. And then there's also something about vertical lines below your pinky. And I don't remember which was what, but I have both.
Okay, well, while Amber's looking that up, I'll tell you what the Girdle of Venus is.
Okay.
So the
Oh,
infographic I was looking at did say Girdle of Venus. I was like, wait, but that's what it
Oh.
says. So I looked again. They must have
Okay.
Well,
spelled
see,
it
it
wrong.
means that you're high strung and
Yes.
nervous. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
I have a girdle. Well, I
So
mean,
what is the girdle? What does it look like?
The girdle
So the
is,
girdle is
between
like a-
your ring finger and your
it's
middle
a
finger.
line up
It's-
here.
But it's not really a line. It's more like a scoop.
A scoop?
It makes like a little
A
curve.
whirl?
Yeah.
Is it a whirl?
No, it's more like this,
Okay, so I have
Yeah, try it.
kind
Let-
of
try
a
it. Let me
girdle.
see.
like that.
Oh.
Like think
okay.
of your bra,
Yeah. I do not have anything that looks like that.
a
at all.
cup.
I have kind of a girdle on my left hand, but not on my right hand.
So there's that one, and then there's another one, right underneath your
'Cause I do have-
pointer finger.
I have a whirl right there, like a fingerprint whirl.
Oh, right.
Right there.
So you might have a girdle that's forming or rent away.
Or it went away.
The Ring of Solomon goes under your ring finger. That's also a scoop.
Oh, okay. I do not have that either.
Okay.
So it would look like you had like man pecs.
Oh. Weird. Nope,
Yeah.
I don't have that at all. No.
Nope.
Oh, that's
But I have like I said, all these little hash marks from my pinky all the way across right there.
So marks on the pinky.
Or it's below the pinky. Yeah.
Below the pinky. Okay. So
I
Let's
think one of
see.
them was supposed to be how many kids you had.
That's what I always heard. That was how many kids you were going to have.
I've got two on my right hand. But I only have one on my left hand, and
Oh,
I know that's
the
not
Ring
true.
of Solomon, which it says it's found on the Jupiter finger. So apparently your fingers have planets. I didn't know that. Is a clear sign that the subject is in love with the mysteries of life.
okay.
Yeah.
That's
Which
the one
is-
on your ring finger?
This is all BS because I'm in love with the mysteries of life and I don't have one of those.
I was like, I have a. Yeah, I have
That
one
goes
of those.
under your pointer finger.
Oh, wait, pointer finger is the Mysteries of Life
Yeah,
one?
that's called the Ring of Solomon.
Okay,
under
I
your
have one
pointer
of those.
Finger. I thought you said under your ring finger.
No,
Okay,
under
I-
your ring finger and your middle finger is the Girdle of Venus.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I have a Ring of Solomon or whatever.
Oh, cool.
Well, I do have a
So,
line that goes right there. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it could be
Okay.
it just makes a scoop.
Okay,
Well, mine
so
doesn't make a scoop. It's a straight line.
Oh, well,
so you have a bunch of lines on your pinky. Those represent your dreams and ambitions.
I only have
and I
one.
have lots of them.
On the
Yeah.
pinky or underneath the pinky?
The lines
Well, I
over
have
here
them on my pinky,
underneath
too.
the pinky
Okay.
represent dreams and ambitions.
I have two really deep lines.
Yeah,
Those are
I
actually
have
some of my deepest lines in my hand right there.
I have one deep line, so I must have one dream and ambition.
Mm-hmm.
I have lots of them.
So
I mean,
you have lots of dreams and ambitions.
It literally looks like someone just like took a razor blade and went slit, 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 slit on my hand and made all these little slices. That's what it looks like. I need to ink my finger so you can see this.
Well, I love how
It's
we're
weird.
like delving into kind of like the deeper stuff, like we're looking stuff up and talking about it. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I was just originally going to talk about the basics, but I love the deeper stuff. And those of you that are listening, please check out our blog and like ask us some questions or give us a like on our podcast and send us a note and ask us some questions.
Or
I'm
send
dying
us
to hear
your
what you
inked up
think.
hand too.
Oh,
Yeah, take a picture of your inked
Oh,
up
that would be
hand
cool.
and send it to
Yes.
us because we want to see what
And
your
we'll post
palm
ours
looks
on
like.
Okay.
Heard
Yeah,
It on
we're
the
gonna-
podcast.
I took some of my scrapbooking ink and I put it on my hand like I was taking fingerprints, and I made a little ink marking. Can you see the vertical lines?
Yes, I can see you do
Oh,
have
wow.
a lot of
A
lines.
lot
yeah.
of them, and they're
So
deep.
lots of dreams and ambitions.
Well, yes, I have. You know, I've wanted
Oh,
to be everything.
you said they were vertical?
vertical.
Oh, I was looking
The-
at the
The
single.
horizontal ones. See, there's the horizontal ones that I had. Well, let me do that again. I loved it. I don't know why I didn't think of this earlier. This
Is there
the right way.
anything about the rings around like your knuckles? Because like some of my knuckles
I
have
have horizontal ones too.
bracelets too. Kind of like my wrist has a bracelet. My knuckles have.
Let me look.
And the middle of my thumb has a really deep line in it too.
Ah. And now I need to
Both
wash
of
my
them.
hands. I need to wash my hands. I think I have some handy wipes here somewhere.
Let me tell you, these little what are these called? These fusion pins?
Friction
pins.
I,
It just wipes right off.
Oh, the friction pin would not work on me. I tried to write on myself with my friction pin.
Oh, you use your spit and wipe it. It came right off. Look.
No, it wouldn't write on
Oh,
me
I
at
see what
all.
you mean.
It did not do
Oh.
anything on my
It
hand.
wrote on me just fine,
So-
and then I just licked my finger and wiped it right off.
I wound up using my
I know, that's so gross.
my Tombow Mono Twin to write.
A marker.
A marker. I used an actual marker. And my VersaFine Tsukaneko VersaFine ink to ink my palm to show you those, like doing a fingerprint.
Okay, so to read your knuckle, first you need to like look at the shape of the skin on your knuckle.
Oh.
Like the skin might be raised, firm, dented, hollow, soft.
On the actual knuckle, like on the other
Yeah,
side
like
of your hand?
like on the actual knuckle. So each finger represents a particular area in your life. The tip of the knuckles and the middle ones are kind of read together on your, let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to make sense of what this is.
I have one for you in a minute too. I actually looked some stuff up too. I have a little book here of a couple of things that I saved. Kind of.
Okay, so a smooth knuckle represents a smooth life and a rough knuckle represents a rough life.
Like you're talking the outside of the top.
Yeah,
of the
like
knuckle.
like when you're,
Uh-huh.
the top of
The hand knuckles or the finger knuckles?
the finger knuckles.
Okay.
Oh, mine are wrinkly.
Mine are wrinkly, but they're smooth.
And then firm knuckles show accomplishments and success. And raised knuckles are indecisiveness.
I want to know
And
what
then-
raised.
What do they mean
what
by
does that
raised?
mean?
Like
I'm
raised up, like crunchy, like thick knuckles. And then
I have long, deep lines in my
dented knuckles, deep lines show like confusing times in life.
Oh, I have seen people where you can see the tendons that are raised in their knuckles, and so
Oh.
it dimples.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have that. I have fat knuckles.
And
I just have
so
wrinkly skin, so
smooth knuckles, like towards the bottom of your, like the top of your fingers, kind of show that you're doing well.
Okay.
And raised knuckles at the top of your fingers show that you need to put in more life effort. And firm raised knuckles show that you've been successful so far.
Okay.
So
I have one for you, Amber.
Mm-hmm.
So on your dominant hand, if there is a square right below your index finger, which is your Jupiter mount, is what they're calling that pad right there. If you have a square there, which I do, it's called a teacher's square.
What do you mean square?
It makes a
okay,
square.
so point out where it is.
Oh, where your lines cross? They don't even
Where
go
they-
there.
There's a square.
Do you see it?
I do have one. I'm a
So do I.
teacher,
You
so
are a
I
teacher.
do have one.
So, also, there is when I was when I asked about the whirl on my palm,
Mm-hmm.
I have a whirl on my palm between my ring finger and my middle finger. And it's just like a little whirl there. And that is, they call it a loop that drops down between the earth and the fire fingers. And that shows a serious work ethic if you have that.
Oh,
So, so having that little whirl there that's what that is.
because I have a huge whirl like right here on this hand.
Yes, that's exactly right there
Yeah.
between those two
Right
fingers.
in between,
Yes.
yeah.
And then
It's like makes my hand.
if you
dip
have a
right there.
whirl or a peacock's eye on the fire finger, which is your ring finger, that's a sure sign of artistic and or design flair, which I think I have that also. I'm having a hard time seeing, though, because it's really dark. Yes, I do.
Yeah, I have
After I
a
got the
whirl
light
on
on
that
it.
finger too.
Oh, that was smart. You got your phone out to use the light.
Yeah.
I have a light here on my desk, but I can't get it over my hand because I'm so far away because of the microphone. Oh, when we were talking about the angle of your thumb coming down from your hand,
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
if you have 45 degrees or less, so if your thumb only does this, then that means you have less confidence. You're more introverted, more stress. If you do 90,
Totally me.
90 degrees or more, which
Mine's
I totally
totally-
am,
Oh.
Yeah.
then
maybe.
you have good confidence.
Let me see.
And
I don't
you
know
are
what's mine.
Let me
domineering and assertive.
make it more.
45 or 90 degrees or more. If it makes an L, then you
Mine,
are
I don't
confident.
think makes like a total. Does it make
Yours
it
is
like a
close,
total
but-
L?
That's an L.
Close, yeah.
You're pretty close.
So I am confident.
Mine's
Yes,
very L.
You is very L. Mine's
Yeah.
pretty L too.
Yeah.
If you have droplets on your finger, I just looked this one up too. Like if they come down and make a drop, I don't think
Oh.
mine really do.
Like round pads.
Yeah,
I do.
That make like a little drop. It looks like water dropping or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
A sensitive sense of touch and love of fine fabrics.
Oh, that's so. You know me. Mom was like, "Look with your eyes, not your fingers."
She touches
Everything.
everything.
Okay, ladies. Do y'all have any triangles on your hands?
Triangles. Ooh.
Yeah, like on your fingers. Do you have any triangles?
Ooh, let me see. Triangles. I don't know that
In the
I
lines, in the
do.
tiny little lines.
Yeah, like in the tiny little lines, like triangles. Well, I guess it really depends on.
Well, I have one
where-
in my palm, between my headline, my fate line.
Oh, okay.
And-
That one,
yeah.
that one's very easy. That one's very easy to find, and
And there's another line that crosses it that comes down from my pinky, and crosses over my heart line and my head line.
Yes, I have
And-
a line that
yes.
goes like this.
Like right here.
okay. So
Yeah,
is
the same line. Yeah.
So okay, tell me where your triangle is again in your palm.
Right here. right here.
Which lines
Between which
consist of it?
lines?
The triangle is made between the headline and the fate line, and then something crosses across both of them. So my headline and my fate line cross each other to make an X, and then this other line crosses those to make a triangle.
Okay, so that's another line. That's another point of self-confidence, having a triangle like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh, I have one here too. I actually have several because my fate line is in such a weird place. I've got lots of lines that cross my fate line.
Let's see.
There's one from my headline and my fate line, and it dissects both of those, or crosses both of those. Right here.
So that means that you are very generous and noble.
Yeah, cool.
Oh, I've got one. I've got one of those
would
too.
Would you count that? I guess you would count this as one too, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think so.
Because look at my lifeline, my headline, and my fate line actually make a triangle there. It's kind of more like an arrow, but I mean it is a triangle.
And that shows. Let's see, is it sharp or is it?
Yes, it's very sharp and pointy, like an arrowhead.
That means that you also have a temper.
Oh.
Ain't that true?
Oh, geez. Y'all didn't see Kristen roll her eyes at me. Yes. Well, I am a fire sign, just saying.
True. And that was so funny because Kristen called me like the nicest person earlier, but I do have a temper because I'm a fire sign also. It's just that when my temper comes out, it's like a quick lightning strike and it scares people.
Yeah, that's what mine does too.
Yeah.
Boom.
That's definitely
more
a
like a
Sagittarius thing.
Mine
Kristen's
just comes in.
Hers builds and builds and builds,
Yeah.
and then it's like just bowls you over.
Yeah, I know. Like I get mad for like a minute, and then I'm like, okay, I'm cool now. I'm gonna go on about my life.
Mm-hmm. Unless somebody keeps engaging you.
Yeah, and then it's like
Yes.
again.
Yes.
Well, ladies, y'all have any more questions, or do we want to start?
I have a ton of questions,
A
like
ton
I
of-
said, but I think this is one of those topics we could probably revisit again and again and again.
Oh yeah,
because
definitely, because
there's
your
so
hands are
much,
always
yeah.
changing. Like,
Yeah.
like you could look at your hand a month from now, and it could look completely different.
Well, that's true. That's true. Depending on how dry your hand is.
Yeah,
Look
yeah,
different.
like your health as well, like the lines on your hand are changing all the time. Just like your fate is changing all the time. Like you could make, especially like on your fate hand, you could make a decision tomorrow that completely alters the course of your life.
That's
And
true.
I truly believe that.
Oh, I do too. I do things all the time and find that I'm in a different place than I was a week ago.
But
And-
yeah, as with any divination, tarot cards, crystals, dowsing, as with any divination, it's only showing you
In
the
that
now,
moment.
the moment, or like the future from this moment. And you could like I said, change your life tomorrow, and then you have a different future.
Butterfly effect. Yeah.
Yes.
Pretty much, yeah. So, I mean, you can take a lot of stock in what we're saying, but disclaimer is if you're looking at your hand and you're like, oh my God, I don't have any bracelets or whatever, like that one guy, that can change.
Yes.
Your life can change with any decision,
And
any moment.
And very often it changes with what you decide to do.
Yeah.
I really think it is true that, I mean, you are the biggest changer of your own fate. I mean, your attitude towards things and the things that you do with your life, the things that your attitude or whatever, the things that you decide to focus on, that is what changes your life. So,
Yeah, definitely.
If you're going to sit here and look at your hands and say, "Oh, I only have one bracelet. I'm not going to live very long," and that's all you think about, guess what's going to happen to you?
You're going to manifest that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you look at your heart line and go, well, my heart line's not very curved, look into yourself, like, why do you feel that way? Because if you
And it could
know
change.
that you're a loving person, then you're going to go, it's curved.
I
Yeah.
think you're right. You are. You're going to look at it.
You're
and
going to go, there's a curve there.
There's a curve there. I'm a
Yeah.
loving person, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hello. Yeah.
mine is curved like a little bit, especially since I
I think
drove
all
it
of
in.
it
But
is,
when I first looked at it, I was like, it's not very curved. But I am a loving person.
that's what I was saying, with my Lifeline. It's very angular. It curves, but it's very angular. It's like it went straight and then it made a hook. And then
Right.
it went straight and then it made a hook. So technically that is a curve, but it curves all the way around my thumb. It's like you could draw a circle around my thumb with it, but it's not smooth. So, but it with all of it,
But whose
it's what you
life
make
is
of it.
smooth, right?
Nobody's life is
nobody's
smooth. That's
life
true.
is definitely.
That is true, and we are living proof of that every day. So, all right. I didn't really have any more questions, Amber. I mean, like I said, there's a lot more to talk about, but I just don't have any more questions that I can think of right now. So
Yeah, definitely. Like,
I mean, we could come back to this later. Or
Yeah, I know,
whatever,
we could
or
come back to
talk
it later
about it
and we
on
can-
the Facebook page.
Or check out
Yeah,
our blog,
Yeah, check out our blog.
yeah.
Talking on the
because we will be
Facebook
probably
page.
talking more about
Oh,
it.
yeah.
In our
Oh
own-
yeah, definitely. Each of us
Yeah.
are probably going to write something about it. Most definitely. So it'll be a lot of fun. And like I said before, we want to hear from y'all. We want to see your hand pictures. So
Oh,
please
yeah.
email
I'd
them
like
to us. Yeah.
I'd like to see you guys write on your hand and then take a picture of it and show us what you think
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah,
Or,
definitely.
yeah. All right.
Okay. Well,
Next week,
next week, yeah. What are we
That-
talking about next week?
that is Kristen.
Woo, I'm going to talk about something I love, which is making lists.
Oh, I'm excited
I'm a
about
nerd
that
for
one.
lists.
Me too.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about different types of lists and why we list and why you should list.
And things you can do with your lists and how to do your lists. And yes,
Yeah, different creative avenues for lists.
listing. Yes.
Yes.
All right.
We all love lists.
We love lists.
We're about to
Checking
nerd
off
out,
the
so
list.
come
yeah.
back so we
yeah,
can nerd
next
out.
week we nerded out on palms. Next week we're going to nerd out on list. Completely
We're just
different,
nerds.
but yeah, we're nerds. Definitely.
All right.
All right. Well, we want to thank Red Door Studios and Creative Audio Tech for our music and our graphics. And yeah, have a great day, guys, and hit us up.
Yeah. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.